My namaskars to everyone. I am Sandeep Bhaga, alias Pinnani Sandeep Kumar. I have secured All India rank 244 in Civil Services Examination 2019. Owing to the COVID-19 induced crisis, most of the aspirants feel that there is lot of uncertainty. The uncertainty in this exam has increased a lot. Some of them and some of you feel that the confusion in this exam has increased a lot. Some of you are worried as the time gap between prelims and mains for CSC 2021 has got lessened, and also most of the aspirants feel that the luck is not on their side and the world is acting against you and things are not in your favor. And in the next 10 to 12 minutes I'll try to give a comprehensive answer to all the questions, so please pay attention for the next 10 to 12 minutes. See, after clearing the civil service examination, the candidates are going to hold a key positions in the government like IAS, IPS, IRS, etc. Every officer is duty bound to exhibit certain qualities and certain values like discipline, commitment, optimal utilization of the resources, the sensibility to the masses, and the ability to effectively and spontaneously deal with the uncertainties and difficult times and tough times in the life. So, in my personal opinion, Union Public Service Commission indirectly tests every civil service aspirant with these qualities, and the one who can exhibit these qualities will be recommended for sure. Let us see how. And for example, let me take two qualities to describe briefly and chiefly. Firstly, if I take the quality of the optimal utilization of the resources, for instance, in the life of an IAS officer, let's assume that an IAS officer is posted as a district collector for the span of 2 years in a district which is having the countless number of problems, whereas the resources are very meager, very few vis-a-vis the problems. He or she may not be able to solve all the problems in that district, but he or she can reasonably tackle the most intensive problems in that district provided the resources are being utilized optimally. You go and meet any IAS officer in this country, everybody will have the same concern of not having the adequate resources with the government. So, in order to do justice to the position which he or she is holding, the prime factor is to utilize the resources optimally. Similarly, in the life of a civil service aspirant, you may not have the time to cover every topic of the syllabus comprehensively. You may not have the time to study if you are a working professional. You may not have enough money to make your ends meet every month. You may not have enough content to write an effective answers to every question asked in the mains. But a successful civil service aspirant will definitely know how to manage the time properly, will spend his own financial resources optimally and spend only on the essential items in his day-to-day life. And even if he doesn't know answer to some questions which is being asked in the mains or prelims or interview, he will use his accumulated knowledge throughout the period of time, throughout this process of this exam, and try to use his wisdom to write a near relevant answer. This is how the optimal utilization of the resources in the life of a civil service aspirant is being tested, which is quite useful and relevant for the career of a civil servant. Let me take the second quality, which is the ability of a civil servant to tackle, to manage, to effectively and spontaneously deal with uncertainty and deal with the difficult challenges in the life. See, due to the complex nature of the society, this economy and this governance, the life of an IAS officer and the IAS officers are supposed to deal with complex challenges in an uncertain world. And recently, if we all aware of the fact that because of COVID-19, the Indian bureaucracy has seen an unprecedented time, and an Indian bureaucracy has been facing a Himalayan challenge owing to the COVID-19 crisis. So in such a crisis, we have seen many officers try to find an opportunity to showcase themselves, to exhibit the quality of being effective and spontaneous in dealing with such crisis situations. So similarly, even a civil service aspirant may be having many problems and challenges in his or her life during the process of this examination. But as is commonly perceived in this current scenario, that the element of uncertainty has increased because of the COVID-19 situation. And this is taking a huge toll on the productivity of the aspirant. But I feel that this gives a huge opportunity for every aspirant to prepare properly, to utilize the time optimally and come out with flying colors. Let me tell you the story of two persons in old Rajendra Nagar in Delhi, which is a hub of civil service aspirants. Person one is Mr. Karthikeyan, who represents an average civil service aspirant. Person two is Raja Singh from Bihar, who is a rickshaw puller in old Rajendra Nagar. I'm telling you the true story of Raja Singh after interacting with tens of such rickshaw pullers in old Rajendra Nagar. Coming from a humble family and a humble background, in order to sustain his family and to make his ends meet, Raja Singh came all alone from Bihar 6 years ago to old Rajendra Nagar to pull a rickshaw. He is not having any shelter to stay as such, even before COVID also. Before COVID-19 came into picture, he used to earn on an average of 500 to 600 rupees per day. With the COVID-19 coming into picture, hardly there was any demand for him, and he has been able to earn only 40-50 rupees per day. And he could not even find 3 meals a day. He used to sleep, he used to take bath on the footpath in the Vande Mataram Marg, which is just beside Jandewalan. He used to sleep in front of the rapid floor mill. On the other side, if we take the story of Karthikeyan, who is a serious aspirant who is preparing for civil service exam, he has been in Delhi quite for some time, preparing studiously. With COVID-19, somewhere around in May, he left ORN and went to his hometown and started preparing at his home. He is fortunate to have felt the mother's love at his home, and also he is having access to the MacBook and internet, where he can find the relevant content for the civil service exam preparation. He is in his reading room, he is completely in his reading room, having all the adequate resources, and fortunate to have got the priceless care of his parents. But what happened is that this Karthikeyan is not able to maintain a mental state of a stable state of mind, and he is unnecessarily thinking about what will happen to this exam, and he's unnecessarily thinking about that uncertainty has increased a lot, and it took toll on the productivity of his preparation. And subsequently what happened, he is not able to concentrate on his studies properly. Now let us compare the scenario of Karthikeyan and Raja Singh, who is a rickshaw puller in ORN. See, in this unprecedented and uncertain, and in this perceived uncertain period of time, it is just a question of aspirational accomplishment to Karthikeyan. But whereas for Raja Singh, it's a question of sustenance and survival. ये राजा सिंह के लिए पेट के सवाल है और कुछ नहीं है. And can you find any word to describe in dictionary the kind of tough time which Raja Singh is facing in his life in such an unprecedented time? Whereas what kind of problem Mr. Karthikeyan is facing in this time? But ironically, what we can see from this is that this Karthikeyan is aspiring for a position which will give the opportunity to him, after he gets successful in this exam, to bring light in the lives of many such Raja Singhs. So what I can say from this is that Karthikeyan is not able to cope up with the challenges in his life. He is not able to deal properly with the things happening around him. In fact, this is very right time, very best and a good time for him to prepare himself, confining himself to the four walls of his room. And also the burden of reading newspaper has reduced due to the fact that there is domination of COVID-19 related stuff in the newspaper, and hardly there have been any substantial global affairs happening because of this COVID crisis, and very few bills are being passed from the last 4-5 months. So his burden of study has got reduced as such, and he got time to prepare well, and he can fill the gaps which he might have found from the last few years of his preparation. So that's why it has to be seen as a good opportunity in the perceived uncertain period. And the story of Mr. Karthikeyan, which I have told you, is more or less relevant and similar to almost every civil service aspirant, including you. I understand that there is confusion among lots of aspirants, but amid confusion, somebody who is having clarity and confidence will be able to survive in this competition. Only the tough candidates will be able to sustain in this preparation process and will be able to come out with the flying colors. If I can bring the Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection and evolution, the individuals or the civil service aspirants struggle for existence in this competition of the civil service exam. Many changes and many challenges takes place in this complex process with time. And what happens is that with these changes, the one who is adaptable, the one who can adapt to the changes and uncertainties, and one who can cope up with the challenges in life and focus on the goal despite all the challenges, will be able to survive in the competition and will be able to be successful in this process. And only such candidates, only those who portray such kind of adaptability, such kind of nature of adaptiveness, can evolve from being a civil service aspirant to a civil servant. So you have to be competent to be in the competition. Your competency will decide whether you are going to survive in the competition or not. And you have to bounce back from the challenges which life throws on you. And it's not that what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters a lot. In fact, the civil services preparation process can be seen as a boxing game. The defeat is not declared when you fall down. It is declared when you refuse to get up. In the life, many challenges and many issues come up in your life. More issues coming up in your life means you are leading an active life. Nothing coming up in your life means you are not living at all. You are not living at all. If you know how to deal with just now, if you know how to manage your thought, your emotion, your body, you will know how to deal with your entire life. And rest, whatever happens in the outside world and whatever the drama happening outside doesn't matter at all. Let the prelims be conducted on any date. Don't bother about the postponement of prelims and such silly things happening around you. Don't believe in the rumors circulating in the market. These rumors spread faster than fire. As a civil servant, as a civil service aspirant, you should not worry at all. You should display a mental state of mind, a mental stability as such. And in fact, you worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It will take away today's peace. Why should you worry? It's the worry of UPSC as to when to conduct the prelims exam. And in fact, your primary duty is to study, just study. And rest all should become secondary to you. And for those who are appearing for the prelims in 2020, October 4th, whatever you are going to study and how you are going to study for the next 1-2 months is going to be very, very crucial and extremely important than what have you been studying from the last 1-2 years of this preparation process. And in general, for the aspirants, I would like to tell that you should just focus on the preparation part. You strategize properly, recognize your strengths and weaknesses. You try to strengthen your weakness and also strengthen your strengths, and make a daily, weekly and monthly targets, and try to execute the plan effectively, and just try to be ready for the exam on whatever the date UPSC has announced and whatever the date may be. Results will definitely follow. You don't focus on the result, you just focus on the process. Believe in the doctrine of Nishkama Karma. The fruits will always be there for those who give the proper inputs to the process. There will definitely be the proper outcomes to those who give proper inputs. That's what the doctrine of Nishkama Karma says. And also that I should caution you, if you do not distinguish between what to read and what not to read, you might extinguish from the process. Nourish yourself with the required qualities so as to flourish in this examination. Now let me share my own struggle for existence in this civil service examination journey and competition. I cleared this exam in my very first attempt with All India rank 732 in CSE 2016. I am supposed to get IRS income tax as I belong to OBC non-creamy layer. But due to different interpretation of the creamy layer rule, my OBC non-creamy layer status is being challenged, and subsequently Madras High Court has opined that I am being subjected to hostile discrimination and my fundamental right to equality under Article 14 was grossly violated, and I was not allowed to join in the respective service of IRS IT. Subsequently, in my second attempt, as there was hardly 15 days gap between the date of announcement of the result and the date of prelims examination, I couldn't manage to clear prelims, as hardly I have studied for 12-13 days. In my third attempt, during my mains I got the typhoid. I remember on the day of my optional exam, the exam was at 9 AM. Till 8 AM I was in hospital and getting injected with the saline bottle. At 8:20 I left the hospital and reached the examination hall by 8:40 and tried to write something, but despite that I cleared mains and I gave interview but couldn't get into the final list. Now came the recent fourth attempt, where I tried to make some minor changes in my preparation strategy, and I effectively encountered different challenges which came up in my life from the last 1.5 years, and now I am here with All India rank 244. Even now with this rank I must get IAS with good cadre under OBC non-creamy layer status category, but as my OBC status is still sub judice in Honorable Supreme Court, there is no chance, but I have to prepare for this exam again, and I started my prelims preparation again. At the age of 23-24, at a very young age, I have seen the taste of injustice at the highest level. The bitterness of the injustice which I have tasted at that young age would not let me to commit injustice when I get the opportunity to do justice, to take decisions as a civil servant in the future. This is what I have learnt from one of the biggest problem which I have ever encountered in my life. And despite giving 3 mains, 3 interviews and getting ranked twice, clearing this exam twice in my 4 attempts, this gully boy is still struggling in Delhi to face the life challenges and achieve his pious goal of IAS with the noble intention to serve his motherland. That's why I still feel that uncertainty in life hasn't ended even after clearing this exam with a good rank. In fact, this uncertainty is an inalienable part of the human life. Whatever you are, whatever the position you are holding, wherever you are going, whoever you are, no life can be imagined without uncertainty. Even I can say that most of the successful candidates of CSE 2019 are struggling due to uncertainty of what service they would get. They're clueless of what service they would get, and they're still struggling a lot. Even after getting into IAS, in this complex drama of nation building, the uncertainty in the life of an IAS officer is only going to increase at a rapid rate compared to the life of a civil service aspirant. Here comes the beauty of the civil service examination and the process which this examination makes us go through. This examination and the process makes us not only learn how to prepare for this exam, but also how to repair ourselves when we recognize a flaw within us, how to cope up with the challenges, and how to bounce back when we encounter different challenges in life. This is what we learn from the examination process. In fact, we also learn how to deal with uncertainties in life, and all these will enable us to make ourselves a complete human being, irrespective of whether we clear this exam or not. And it all depends upon what kind of mindset, the attitude which you hold all the time. So have a positive attitude and make your preparation a celebration. In fact, if you do not cherish a right mindset throughout your preparation process, you might perish in this process. So when life gives you 100 reasons to cry, then show life you have 1,000 reasons to smile. Have faith in yourself. Greater convictions are the mothers of greater deeds. अगर जीना है तो मरना सीखो, कदम कदम पर लड़ना सीखो. I sincerely wish every sincere aspirant who is sincerely dedicated and committed to his or her goal to come out with flying colors. Until next time, when I will stand in front of you as an IAS officer officially, your Sandeep Bhaga. Jai Hind, all the best.